Have you ever walked into a room and felt invisible? You speak, and nobody seems to hear you. You share your ideas, and they're brushed aside. You exist, but it feels like you don't matter, like you're overlooked, undervalued, and dismissed. This feeling of being ignored is one of the most painful experiences of modern life. And the worst part is, it eats away at your self-worth. You start asking questions like, why don't people listen to me? Why don't I get the respect I deserve? Why do some people walk through life commanding attention, while others are treated like background noise? The truth is harsh but liberating. Respect is not something you can beg for, and attention is not something you can demand. Both are outcomes of how you carry yourself, how you live, and how you frame your mind. And this is where Stoicism, an ancient philosophy forged in the chaos of empires and wars, has the answers. The Stoics understood something about human psychology that modern self-help books often miss. They knew that people don't ignore you because of bad luck, or because the universe conspired against you. They ignore you because you present yourself in ways that invite dismissal. They ignore you because you've unconsciously allowed yourself to be manipulated, undervalued, and treated as if your presence doesn't matter. And here's the secret: it's not other people you need to fix first. It's your inner posture, your mental discipline, your ability to command respect by the way you live. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor of Rome, once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." That single line reveals the solution to invisibility. Stop seeking recognition. Stop demanding validation. Stop performing for others. Instead, live with such strength, integrity, and inner alignment that ignoring you becomes impossible. Let's be real, the world is not fair. People are drawn to appearances, status, and signals of confidence. If you carry yourself as if you're unsure of your own worth, people will mirror that energy and treat you the same way. If you constantly complain about not being valued, people will subconsciously believe that you don't have value. This is why the Stoics trained themselves to never hinge their worth on outside approval. Epictetus, who was born a slave and rose to become one of the most respected philosophers of his age, said it clearly: if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. What did he mean? He meant that you can't live for the applause of others. If you do, you'll always be their puppet. The respect that lasts isn't forced out of people, it radiates naturally from your character and your self-control. Think about the people you respect most in life. Are they the ones constantly shouting for attention? Are they the ones bending over backwards to be liked, to fit in, to please everyone? Or are they the ones who walk quietly, but firmly, whose presence speaks louder than their words? Real respect doesn't come from manipulation or tricks. It comes from being anchored in value so deeply that nothing shakes you. The Stoics knew this. They practiced indifference to insults, calmness in the face of chaos, and strength when the world tried to break them. And because of that, they couldn't be ignored. People listened, not because they begged to be heard, but because they became living examples of resilience. Now, let's connect this to your life. Why do people ignore you? Maybe it's because you over-explain yourself. You feel the need to justify every action, every decision, as if your worth depends on others agreeing with you. But Stoicism teaches the opposite. You don't need to explain yourself endlessly. You need to live in alignment with reason and virtue. Say what you mean once, firmly, and let your actions carry the weight. Or maybe you're ignored because you give too much without boundaries. You try to please everyone, hoping that generosity will buy respect. But what happens? People take advantage, and instead of thanking you, they treat you as disposable. The Stoics would call this a failure of discipline. Giving is noble, but only when it comes from strength, not from fear of rejection. Seneca warned about this when he said, "He who seeks friendship for utility will not find friends worthy of the name." In other words, if you give to be liked, your giving will backfire. Give because it's virtuous, not because you want recognition. Another reason you're ignored might be that you project weakness through your reactions. When someone disrespects you, do you explode in anger, or shrink in silence? Both are extremes, and both signal a lack of control. Anger shows that others can pull your strings. Silence, when it comes from fear, shows that you lack courage. But Stoicism offers the middle way. It teaches you to respond without losing yourself. Imagine someone mocks you in public. The weak response is rage. The fearful response is silence. The Stoic response is calm, measured, maybe even a touch of humor, because their insult doesn't define you. Epictetus would remind us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. By mastering reaction, you send the signal that you cannot be rattled. And people respect what they cannot control. Here's the paradox: the more you chase respect, the less you get it. The more you need people to value you, the less they do. The Stoics flipped this script. They taught that respect comes from not needing respect. Imagine two people in a room. One desperately tries to be liked, agrees with everyone, and constantly seeks approval. The other sits quietly, speaks only when necessary, and radiates self-possession. Who gets noticed? The one who doesn't care about being noticed. This is the paradox of influence. By detaching from the need for recognition, you actually gain it. Marcus Aurelius put it beautifully: the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Don't try to prove people wrong. Don't beg for them to see your worth. Simply embody it. Live it. And in time, they will have no choice but to acknowledge it. But let's push deeper, because the pain of being ignored is not just about others, it's also about the story you tell yourself. If you constantly believe that you are overlooked, that you don't matter, that no one cares, then you begin to carry yourself like a ghost. People pick up on that energy. It's not mystical, it's psychological. Humans are social creatures who mirror emotions. If you believe you're invisible, others start treating you like you are. So how do you fix it? The Stoics would tell you, reshape the story. Instead of saying, people ignore me, say, people's opinions are outside my control, but my character is mine. Instead of saying, no one values me, say, my value doesn't come from them, it comes from my virtue. Instead of saying, I'm overlooked, say, I will live so well that overlooking me will only make them look foolish. Let's get practical. How can Stoicism fix the problem of being ignored in today's world? First, stop broadcasting weakness. This doesn't mean pretending to be strong, it means actually building strength. Wake up early, train your body, discipline your mind, sharpen your skills. When you walk into a room, your preparation speaks before you do. Second, control your reactions. Don't be baited by insults, don't crumble under pressure, don't let people see you begging for validation. Respect is drawn to composure like gravity. Third, cut the neediness. If someone doesn't value you, stop pouring your energy into them. As Seneca wrote, associate with those who will make a better man of you. If someone keeps overlooking you, maybe they don't deserve your presence in the first place. But most importantly, live for something greater than attention. The Stoics weren't respected because they craved it. They were respected because they embodied timeless principles: courage, justice, wisdom, and temperance. These aren't just old words, they are living tools. Courage means facing life's challenges without flinching. Justice means treating others fairly, even when they mistreat you. Wisdom means knowing what truly matters and letting go of what doesn't. Temperance means controlling your desires so you are never enslaved by them. When you live this way, people sense it. They may not always applaud, but they can't ignore it. Think of Marcus Aurelius again. He was the most powerful man in the world, Emperor of Rome, yet he wrote in his private journal, "Do not waste the remainder of your life in thoughts about others, when you do not refer your thoughts to some object of common utility." Even with all the power and respect in the world, he knew that chasing validation was a trap. His focus was service, duty, virtue. And that's the key. If you feel ignored, it's because you're focused too much on how others see you. Shift your focus to how you live, what you build, what you stand for. Respect will follow, not because you chased it, but because you became someone who commands it. So, why do people ignore you? Sometimes because of their own flaws, their own blindness, their own distractions. But more often, it's because you've been giving them permission to ignore you. Stoicism strips away that permission. It teaches you that you don't need to beg for attention. You don't need to manipulate or play games. You don't need to shout to be heard. You just need to embody strength, live by principles, and stop attaching your worth to the fragile opinions of others. Then, slowly but surely, the world begins to shift. Not because people suddenly become fair or kind, but because your presence no longer depends on them. And that's the ultimate transformation. From someone overlooked to someone unshakable. From someone manipulated to someone who commands respect naturally. Not by force. Not by demand. But by living in such alignment with yourself that ignoring you becomes impossible. That's what the Stoics understood. And that's the path you can walk, starting right now.